After a successful season 1 Netflix की thriller drama series She is back with its second installment और यहाँ पर अब क्या twist and turn plot में होने वाले हैं, कहानी किस लेवल पर आगे जाने वाली है, बात करने के लिए लीड स्टार कास्ट हमारे साथ है अदिति, विश्वास एंड कुमार AKA भूमिका, फर्नांडिस एंड नायक। तो बहुत सारी बातें इनसे करेंगे बट फर्स्ट थिंग्स फर्स्ट, लेट्स वेलकम आवर गेस्ट। तो बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म पे।
थैंक यू सो मच। थैंक यू।
अच्छा, टीजर बहुत प्रॉमिसिंग लग रहा है एंड ऑल द ऑडियंस आर ऑब्वियसली वेटिंग कि अभी सीजन 2 आएगा, कहानी आगे क्या जाती है भूमिका की, तो मैं जानना चाहती हूँ आप तीनों से, the response to the teaser is also amazing. What to expect from the season 2, starting with you, Aditi?
Well, I think since I have performed the part, I know one thing, that there is a lot of excitement. And there is no moment, I would say, which has dropped, because when I performed it, it didn't drop for me. We shot for this for about some 65 days of my time, 67 days, and over a period of 9 months, because of the lockdown and the night lockdown and so many things that happened. तो मैं कहूँगी कि उन दिनों में भी मेरा कभी भी मेरी जो एक्साइटमेंट थी या मेरा जो भी एक पेस था वो कभी भी ड्रॉप नहीं हुआ, चाहे कोरोना हो या कुछ और हो। भूमि अपने ही जोन में थी बहुत टाइम तक। सो इफ द स्क्रिप्ट कैन कीप मी इंट्रिग्ड एज एन एक्टर सो मच फॉर सच अ लॉन्ग टाइम, आई एम 100% श्योर दैट पीपल आर गोइंग टू फील द सेम एंड दे आर गोइंग टू, ऑफ कोर्स आफ्टर परफॉर्मिंग इट, यू नो, मैं तो वो उसको पढ़ रही थी पर वो तो मुझे उस किरदार को निभाते हुए देखेंगे। सो आई थिंक एक्साइटमेंट डबल होने वाली है। सो इट्स गोइंग टू बी अ वेरी, आई वुड से, फास्ट पेस्ड काइंड ऑफ परफॉर्मेंस एंड अ रोलर कोस्टर राइड कंप्लीटली फॉर भूमि।
ओके, बट जब कोई भी सीरीज शुरू होती है, ऑब्वियसली समटाइम्स यू डोंट नो उसका रिस्पांस कैसा होगा टू द ऑडियंस, राइट? बट शी हैज गिवन अ वेरी गुड रिस्पांस, इट्स बीन लाइक्ड एंड अप्रिशिएटेड बाय द व्यूअर्स। अब obviously आप सीजन 2 की तरफ जा रहे हो, so do you guys feel that sense of responsibility on your shoulder की एक expectation बार हमने सेट कर दिया है? So विश्वास, वो बार ब्रेक करोगे? Will you break that glass ceiling of expectation?
मुझे लग रहा है वो तो आप बताओगे शो देखने के बाद कि मैंने किया है कि नहीं किया है, मैं कैसे बता सकता हूँ। बट बिफोर गोइंग इनटू सीजन 2 and coming from season 1, all I can tell you is that I was way more comfortable with Fernandes this time. And I explored him more than I explored him in season 1. Also because there was a lockdown in between, Nidhi, and during that lockdown, I grew as a person, and the actor in me also grew. So when I came back and saw Fernandes again on paper, the way I understood him was very different from the way I understood him in the first season. So the prep was very different. And the way he came out of me was, I think, also deeper now this time. There's much more seasoning there.
Okay, so but when you're starting a series ना, तो आपको ये पता नहीं होता है कि उसको, जैसे मैंने कहा, ऑडियंस कैसे परसीव करेगी, आपके कैरेक्टर्स को कैसे वो अपनाएगी। But when you know that यार वो successful हो गया and now we are coming with the second installment, so as I said, now my question I'm turning to Kumar, कि वो एक when you perform the season 1, obviously नहीं पता था, तो आपने freely उसको play किया होगा, but now you know there is a set requirement or a demand or expectation audience की कि अब नायक second season में क्या करेगा, what are the colors that he will show. So did you play the second season with that pressure, or you were still free कि नहीं, I'm just going to do what I'll do?
I think I had other pressures on my mind. This didn't actually occur to me at all. I think it is easier in a way because the ground is already set through season 1, and it's tough because there is an expectation also set along with that. So mujhe, as I told you, there were other things which were more concerning, like the scenes, because ab to Nayak ka pura kirdar aayega is season mein, and he has to keep meeting Bhumi again and again, and she's always a challenge to meet. So new challenges every time we meet, and the way we had to shoot them, and the preparations for that, all that was there. So all those playing on my mind, I never actually, all these pressures didn't come to my mind at all.
But since all three of you are reprising your roles, right? And as Vishwas, aapne kaha कि during the lockdown, you obviously grew as a person, and then obviously now you're seeing Fernandes with a different perspective. But आपके जो roles हैं in the second season, कोई जो character में है, changes हैं in how it is developing, और character graph कहीं ऊपर जा रहा है I'll ask this question to all three of you, but starting with Aditi.
I think I would simply put it as Bhumi has taken one step forward. क्योंकि वैसे भी वो बेबी स्टेप्स लेती है, उसमें ज़्यादा वो कुवत जिसको बोलते हैं ना, वो है ही नहीं इतना सोचने के लिए. तो इवन इन द सीरीज प्रीवियसली ऑल्सो शी सेड इट, बट शी इज लाइक मैं प्लान नहीं करती है, मैं कर डालती है, उसके बाद सोचती बैठती है कि मैंने क्या किया. तो मुझे ये बड़ा पसंद आता है भूमिका कि वो सोच नहीं रही है. एंड एक्चुअली भूमिका मीन्स अर्थ, लाइक इट ऑल्सो मीन्स अ कैरेक्टर, यू नो. सो आई फील शी इज प्लेइंग हर कैरेक्टर रियली वेल, बिकॉज ना वो सोच रही है मैं आगे क्या करूंगी, वो बस इतना देख रही है कि उसको क्या फील हो रहा है एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, एंड व्हाट शी इज फीलिंग इज फ्रीडम. And I think if somebody can feel freedom through sexuality, for that matter, that she's explored in the first season, like you see, and that is now gaining momentum and converting into power, I think that is a biggest achievement for any woman, which is not in the face. Her sexuality doesn't mean that it has to be anything crass or something that is to look at sexual, but it's happening internally within her. You know, she's exploring her power as a woman rather, and she's actually feeling feminine now for the first time. Like if you see, पहले इसमें सब उसको बोलते हैं ये ठंडी है, ये तो मर्द है. मेरे को तो सुनने में अदिति, like for me as Aditi only, I was like, nobody said this to me ever. It feels so weird. So you know, you always grow up to know who you are when you're in your adolescent ages, and you know that there are boys looking at you in school if you're in a convent specifically. And I've never felt this feeling what Bhumi feels, and this time it was so liberating to feel the other side and then to get the power back through Bhumi. And I've really watched her from a distance. मुझे ऐसे हमेशा लगा है कि like मैंने कहा था भी किसी से कि मैं उसकी उंगली पकड़ के उसको ले जा रही हूँ, पर वो है नहीं, वो एक्चुअली मेरा हाथ पकड़ के मुझे आगे ले जा रही है. सो आई हैव लर्नड अ लॉट फ्रॉम दिस सीजन, एंड व्हाट भूमि हैज ट्रांसफॉर्म्ड इनटू हैज मेड मी मोर courageous as Aditi, you know. And I've realized that let's not think about it tomorrow. Of course, like Vishwas said, there were times which were very rough for all of us, so I'm not planning anything. I also went through a certain phase while shooting for the show. My father was unwell and then he passed away, so there were so many obstacles that came in the way, but the show must go on, and it went on. And I mean, my dad always said that, you know, I'm fine, you do your work, you know. And I remembered that, like every single day when I was still worried, I was still going ahead with what my dad had said, and exactly what Bhumi is also doing. She's going ahead even though she knows वो कभी भी मर सकती है, मतलब कभी भी उसके साथ कुछ भी हो सकता है. It's not just death. And you as an audience, you'll feel it, because I felt it when I was doing it. It's written so tight and so well. Like you said कि challenge आपके लिए क्या होगा, I think the challenge is more on Imtiaz Ali, because this time he has to write it in such a way that it is fast paced, and it is like it has to have so many variations, because सस्या को क्यों मारा और सस्या क्यों मर गया, ये तो काफी टाइम तक चल रहा था. पर आप अलग ही पहलू देखेंगी अभी भूमिका का भी और बाकी कैरेक्टर्स जो होते हैं उनका भी.
Correct. So now moving on to the other characters. Vishwas, आपका जो कैरेक्टर है फर्नांडिस, उसके कैरेक्टर ग्राफ में कोई चेंजेस हैं?
पूरा character graph different है, which is very exciting in the first place. And I was also going to say the same thing. The pressure that you're talking about of, you know, season 1 doing really well and then going into season 2 was all for the creators and the writers. And coming from an actor's perspective, they've done a fabulous job. When we got to read it, I was like, yes, this is something I look forward to. And Fernandez, I feel he goes through it's a very different journey for him in season 2. He sort of has a relationship with Bhumi, which I will not define for the audience. I'll let them, you know, figure it out. But somewhere she's his prodigy, and when she goes through certain things in the show that you'll see, he goes through some pretty complex emotions, and how he deals with it is what I feel season 2 for Fernandez is about. How would he, you know, there's surprise, there's some shock, there's some surprises again. So it's for you to figure out.
Correct. And how many changes are we going to see in Nayak's character or his career graph?
As such, we have seen Nayak as a very dynamic personality in the season 1, I think, because he's never seen, actually, nobody knows how he looks and all those things, and he actually is very dynamic in the sense he just finishes one job and transforms him, suddenly just vanishes from there. He comes back with something totally different in a different kind of operation, mode of operation, and all that. the main interest that I had when they gave me the script of season 2 was how Nayak is going to be dynamic in his thoughts and in what he thinks about Bhumi and how his relationship with Bhumi will evolve. And they definitely have not disappointed me. So we can't reveal everything now.
Yeah,
But that is the interesting part, I think. What changes does Bhumi bring in Nayak at the end?
Okay.
What happens to Nayak? What change we see in Nayak is the was the interesting part as far as Nayak goes. But I was very impressed with how Bhumi evolved. When I read the script for the first time, I actually fell in love with Bhumi's character, and everyone I think will.
करेक्ट करेक्ट एंड आई थिंक इट्स मोर रिलेटेबल ऑल्सो बिकॉज बहुत सारी अगर इंडियन वुमेन की हम बात करें सो देयर जर्नी ऑल्सो समवट इज वेरी रिलेटेबल टू भूमि की कहानी के you know from timidness to finding this need for you know now being courageous and empowerment. So in this whole journey अगर आप तीनों के roles की हम बात करें from season 1 and of course now that you've shot season 2, what has been most challenging to you as an actor agar main, you know, when you were portraying your characters in both the seasons? So again this question is for all three of you. I'll start with Aditi again. Most challenging for you to transform from Aditi to becoming Bhumika?
I think what Bhumika experiences is freedom, and for me, the biggest challenge was the freedom of how free can Bhumi be. Because घर पे उसको दबाया जाता है. Her mother is kind of emotionally blackmailing her with her illness and with, you know, she's chained from every angle. Yeah, how can you do this to somebody? I was so angry at one point at the mother, at the sister, and you know, everybody's just blaming her. The poor thing is just working hard to, you know, make her ends meet, and she keeps saying that मेरे को पगार मिलता है, मेरे लिए ठीक है. मेरे लिए और कुछ मेरी जिंदगी इसके आगे नहीं है. मैं अपना वर्दी का इस्त्री बनाती है और मैं काम पे जाती हूँ. बस इतना ही है भूमिका का लाइफ. तो क्यों इतना सब उसके लाइफ में होना चाहिए उसके लिए? बट येस, देयर इज समथिंग दैट लाइफ डिसाइड्स फॉर यू, आई थिंक मेनी अ टाइम्स. सो भूमि's journey was decided, predestined probably, and she had to go this way to realize that she is free, and the freedom that came to her through her own breaking of shackles, you know, she took this step forward. Of course, there were reasons. Mother was the reason, Lokhande, husband, was the reason, and the sister was the reason, but she took that step forward, being ignorant, you know. So ignorance is bliss, I think, sometimes. और वो फर्नांडिस सर ने मेरे को सिलेक्ट किया, मैं जाएगी आगे ऐसा बोल के वो जो गई है. So yeah, I think the freedom is what I feel Bhumika has achieved, and that was the biggest triumph, I think, for her.
Okay. What about you, Vishwas? From Vishwas to becoming Fernandez, any challenges you faced?
I think initially everything was a bit of a challenge, from finding how he would walk to how he looks at people. But what was tough for me to grab, which took me some time, was his obsession with this whole case. The way he's obsessed with it all the time. I am not a very obsessive personality. I like to sort of take it easy. At times I take a break from, you know, whatever I'm chasing. But Fernandez has no breaks in life. So that is something, you know, every scene, every time I came from the van, walked down to the set and ready to perform, my whole walk was getting the obsession that Fernandez has, getting it back. Because only if it's in you can you see it in his eyes, you know, and that's what sort of was challenging.
Okay. And now I'm shifting the same question to you, Kumar. So your portrayal of Nayak.
I think the main challenge was I still am actually challenged by the character because yeah. The thing is that there is a very thin line that he treads, सच और झूठ के बीच में. You never know what he really means. Nayak, whether he's really saying whatever he's saying or does he mean something else. I think I was in a confusion, so that confusion I think helped me play that role, because you will never know whether I really mean it or not. But that thing is, I think I have a line in the series where I say, where Nayak says, सब सच थोड़ा सा झूठ मिला के. So that is how I think we can define Nayak, and I think that was the major challenge too, because everything was not it actually is and what it seems.
Okay. So now very quickly my last question. अगर एक लाइन में आपको season 2 sum up करना हो for our audience, तो कैसे आप उसको sum up करोगे? So all three of you, starting with again Aditi.
I would say it's an earth-shattering experience because that's what
Okay.
Bhumi's state of mind is. I wouldn't say it's an earthquake, it's shattering and it's still there.
Earth-shattering.
It's still
Okay.
there because she's still stable, with the gravity. Yeah.
Okay. Vishwas?
Wow, I wasn't expecting this one. I would say it's like a roller coaster ride. So don't expect anything because a lot of things are being, they'll be thrown at you. Just be ready. Don't eat while you're watching season 2 because you'll miss something.
Oh yeah, don't eat your favorite food for
Right?
sure.
So just eat, finish your food, come back, and then play season 2 for yourselves. That's what I think I'll say.
Okay. Okay. What about you? Your thoughts?
All being said, I don't have any words. I think audience have to come again the way they did with season 1. Come with an open mind and see what the writer has to converse with you, and you will definitely relate to every character that is there in the season, and you will actually thrown surprises at you, which you will relate to again. So
Correct.
there are a lot of truths and realities that you will see, and you would not have spoken about or thought about.
Okay.
You would not have given a serious thought about a lot of things. You will actually start thinking about them, start questioning them. So all these things are going to happen, I think.
So
that happened to me.
Basically, if you come with an open mind and a full stomach, you'll find something earth-shattering.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's good.
You couldn't have
But-
put it anywhere better. And I think जिन्होंने season 1 देखा, definitely they are eagerly waiting for the release of season 2. And जिन्होंने नहीं देखा है, I urge you कि पहले season 1 देख लीजिए, then उसके बाद you'll be wanting for more. Get ready, buckled up for this roller coaster ride, earth-shattering roller coaster ride
Yeah,
with
but
an open mind. And on that note, guys, I wish you all the luck for the success of not just this series, but all the work that you in future take up. Thank you so much.
Thank
you,
you, thank
Nidhi.
you, thank you.
Thank you.